June the 30th, 2024. Guys, we have a rapidly changing hurricane map. Went from a 2, now we're dealing with a Cat 4 here probably before nightfall, but saying Monday. Right now we're at a Cat 3. This came out 30 minutes ago at 8 a.m. Now, the 5 a.m. report had this as a Cat 2, and just to let you know how quickly things are changing. The problem is, dealing here tomorrow on the 1st, Monday, you got 130 mile per hour, Cat 4. The same here, 130 miles an hour on through Monday, and then Tuesday slowing down to a Cat 3. I'm not sure what's going to slow it down in this area. We should see some slight slowing down coming through the Windward Islands, guys. But you're presently at 986 millibars. It's moving west at 21 miles an hour. So it's slowing down about a mile per hour a day. It was 23 miles an hour yesterday, 22 miles. That still puts you in the 500 mile per day range. Winds at 115, and here's your location. Now, looking at the technical data on this, on Monday through Tuesday, we're going to have wind gusts reaching on the top end at 160 miles an hour, according to the computer data. Now, Cat 5 starts at, 156. So we're going to be over a Cat 5 in our peak winds on Monday and Tuesday. I'll show you that chart. Just hold on one second. Now, this is part of that printout. Here is today on the 30th. You got your 100 knot winds with 120 knot peaks. Guys, in that 120 knots, you're dealing with 138 miles an hour. And again, Cat 4 hurricane. But look at this. Tomorrow, we're going to be starting to get into 140 knots on the high end there. In the morning and the afternoon reports for the first. You got 2 per day here. Remaining that 140, guys. That is 161 miles per hour. Right there. And right there. And then coming down to 135, which is not much slower. Just under a Cat 5, guys. But these are Cat 5 gusts. Will we continue to see this escalation day by day while it's in the Caribbean? We don't know. The only thing I can see slowing it down is possibly briefly overnight or in the morning, coming down about 10 miles an hour going through the Windward Islands, just like I said last night. But then there's nothing really in the way between there and the island of Jamaica. And you got, of course, we were looking at the Grand Caymans last night. It's showing it slowing back down 135, 130, 120, and this is, you're coming in on the 3rd here. So, again, I don't see where the slowdown is yet, but I do see Cat 5 gust in tomorrow in both reports. I expect this to increase, maybe not tomorrow, but once it clears the Windward Islands, we may be seeing a steady Cat 5 if we don't see it before then. But anyway, 140 knots, guys, that's 161 miles per hour. So we're going to have to watch this. You guys in the Caribbean, you better be preparing for the worst. Now, the spaghetti models were also updated at 8 a.m. this morning, guys. Here's the Navy model and the Canadian model coming right up through Louisiana, and that's going to bring it into Mississippi and Arkansas if this track stays the same. You got 4 models, 5s taking over the Yucatan, but the 2 that we watch the most, the Navy and the CMC, have this thing coming right in here. And that's telling us the high pressure area is going to move off to the east and allow this opening. Now, this is our storm that's in the Bay of Campeche right now. It's not very well organized, but all the models are showing it coming straight west pretty much. Now, we do see a dip down by the Navy model right here, which could bring it closer to Mexico City. You need it very badly. Remember, save all the water you can, and I'm hoping that if you've got dams and reservoirs anywhere in that area, that the officials are unlike the ones that we see in California and other places that will drain it out and create an emergency. So you're going to have to start saving it. Guys, you're in a situation in Mexico City that it's do or die. Too many people, no water. Now, this is our Navy model. Check this out, guys. Right there, Central Louisiana, and of course, a quadrant at this if it comes in at that point, we know it could shift some, would be here in New Orleans and Mississippi. Very similar to Katrina, but notice the other thing is how much quicker, once it gets into the warmer Gulf of Mexico waters, that it tightens up. See, we're dealing out here now, these millibars of pressure are not representing what we're seeing when this chart starts right there. See that? This thing's almost a Cat 4 now, but look how much stronger it gets before it comes ashore. So you guys along the coast, and I'm one of them, we have to watch for this. When Katrina did this and Camille did this, it was devastating. You know, we were 120 miles inland, knocked power out 2 weeks, no water. Without power, you can't even go to the store and buy gas and things like that. So fill your cars up, get all your batteries ready. When this thing gets close to shore, fill up your bathtub with water. You can always boil it or filter it, because if your water shuts down, that will give you some backup. That you're going to need to have all of those things in place. But along this area, depending exactly where it comes in, you're going to have to evacuate. Prepare for that. It's going to be mandatory evacuations when this storm comes in. Now let's take a very wide look at the situation. Again, right here, the sun is starting to rise enough to where you can see that it's a loosely organized storm, but it is in the Bay of Campeche. Again, rain event and a much needed one, if you ask me. Here is the killer, and the eye's already formed, very tight-knit eye, very tight-knit storm. When they get that, when they get into a heavy circulation and they wrap this tight, guys, not much is going to mess with a storm like that. Not even high pressure. Sometimes it will just push right through it. In other words, when you get a superstorm, they create their own environment. You understand what I'm saying? So, guys, when along the Windward Islands, you're going to be dealing with Cat 5 gust, okay? I don't know how many Cat 5s have formed this far out into the Atlantic. That would be an interesting study, looking back at the history of Cat 5 hurricanes and see where they actually became that strong. That would definitely be an interesting little research project. But this is what we got. You got some moisture pulling across here. All of these clouds, guys, if nothing else, they take about 5 or 6 degrees off of this heat index. We saw it yesterday. We went from 107 to 103 very quickly after some clouds came in. We never got much rain, a little sprinkles, but just that was good. The cooling of that of the clouds really makes a difference. Now this is a little closer look at our storm here, Beryl. Notice again, very well defined eye, guys, and you've got some outer banding here, but the very strongest winds, the ones that we're concerned about, are going to be in this circle. It's again 21 miles per hour moving west, and again this thing's going to be all over you guys in the Windward Islands tonight and through in the morning. Very strong gusts, remember that. Let me pull this over to the Gulf of Mexico itself. Right there, here's our storm. Most of the moisture's in the right side of it here, so as it comes ashore, more than likely this section will get the most rain. But it does show a dip, according to the CMC, coming back a little further south, bringing that much-needed rain to that area. And let me go just a little further north with this. And this is what's setting up here in the southeast. Storms in Florida are going to be coming in and out. You've got a system setting up now in Tennessee. And here you've got, this is Texas, this is Oklahoma, and Kansas. So you know how Kansas is part of Tornado Alley, or it used to be. It's changing somewhat. And I'm going to go back across, while we got it up close like this, to Africa. Now this storm right here, they're watching it. That's supposed to develop. We'll see. And we have more energy coming off the African coast itself. Right there. Check that out. So guys, again, you get all your prep in line. You guys in the Windward Islands, you can see how close the storm is. And when you look at it very close, you can see how much wind is moving across the surface here. But we will update it this afternoon, guys. It's a heads up. Be safe.